Well, good morning guys, welcome back to another video. Today is a Sunday, and normally I try to take Sundays to chill, especially this week I'm pretty exhausted, but I've been dailying the S2000 lately because if you've been keeping up with the videos, I've been trying to do some more drift stuff, and the BMW is doing great, but you know, it's nice to just be able to transfer off and on between cars. I just went drifting with the BMW, so I'm kind of giving it a break, and I'm kind of out of tires for the BMW, so I'm trying to make the tires that I have right now that are pretty old last until I can get some more money to get some new tires. So I've been daily driving the S2000, and one of the issues that I've been having with it, if you don't remember, my last track day was back in November of 2023, so that was probably like 4 months ago. And I had some issues with the clutch system, so long story short, the clutch decided to grenade itself. But in the process of diagnosing that, because of the way it was acting, I suspected it was a clutch master. I found that mine was weeping pretty darn good, but ever since I've put the new clutch in, which was an OEM setup with a ACT pressure plate, like the OEM Plus upgrade, you know, kit that everybody does. But my master cylinder is weeping pretty good, and you know, I'm tired of dealing with it, because now lately the clutch has been getting harder to get into gear, and the fluid is full, but I'm just not liking how it's feeling. To me, it feels like it's about ready to just give out any time now. Now I did go ahead and I bought a Nissan unit through Hybrid Racing, which is supposed to be like an OEM upgrade. Nissan is the OE manufacturer, but apparently this one that they have is the upgraded version that doesn't allow it to you know, get as dirty as fast. You know, the OEM S2000 units having issues with the seals, so we have the new stuff here. So we're just gonna slap this in today, and then I also do have a radium catch can setup that I want to try and do. Because also, if you guys aren't familiar, or if you are AP1 owners, you know that these things are kind of prone to having, you know, some oil consumption issues. A lot of S2000s are susceptible to it, most of the AP1s. But one of the upgrades that tends to help some people is doing an AP2 valve cover with a radium catch can. So I'm also going to try and slap that on today. So really the main difference between the two valve covers, let me set them side by side here. They look very similar, but the main difference is internally with the valve, or with the baffle in there. Essentially the AP1 doesn't have like a drain back system, and then the way the PCV is set up top here, it kind of puddles up and collects, and then you just suck a lot of oil in through here, hence a lot of the smoking. They updated the baffling inside with the AP2, which is 05 and up, or 04 and up. So 04, 05 is the same as the AP1 for the sensors back here, so that's what you got to look out for. The 05 or 06 and up is different, but the PCV comes out the side here. It's a different design. Internally it's a little bit different, so that's what we're looking for. Now there's a couple guys that do mods to these things. You can make a drain back, but overall I've understood it as the AP2 one is kind of just like a decent little upgrade. So we're gonna slap that on too, since we have to have the valve cover off anyway. Well, I was gonna take it off anyway, so yeah, I might do a valve lash while I'm in here, but that might be for another day, because I need to do an oil change on this, so I may as well do it while I'm draining the oil and doing all that. So today's video, we're just gonna focus on doing clutch master, valve cover with the catch can setup. So I just pulled in, you know, I just drove here, and yeah, ignore how dirty the car is. It is absolutely filthy. We've had rain the last couple days here in Arizona. Yeah, whatever. Let this cool down for a minute. It's pretty easy. I'm gonna go ahead, I already got the air compressor on, so I'm gonna come in here and drain the fluid from the reservoir. It's not even really dirty. I just flushed it last oil change, but I flush it every oil change. Whatever. Let's get this suctioned out really quick. All right, so I am taking the easy way out. I'm using my vacuum bleeder to suck the brake fluid out of the reservoir, because you can do it with a turkey baster, but you know, have tools, may as well use them. Awesome. All right, next up we have to disconnect the clutch line, which is right there, 10mm wrench. I'm gonna go ahead and unbolt this bracket so it's kind of out of the way. And then there's two 12 mils that hold it from the inside. So 10mm line wrench, that's a 9. There we go, 10 mil. Well, can we fit this in here without too much of a struggle? Oh, it looks like we can. There we go. Kind of awkward being in here, but looks like it's accessible. All right, I'm gonna put a rag down there actually before I keep going too much further. Because brake fluid definitely eats up on your stuff. So we're gonna try and prevent some of that. Something like that. Yeah, I'm gonna move this bracket. Probably gonna be time for a throttle cable here soon. This thing's starting to get chewed up here, and it's kind of a big issue on S2000s, like having a good throttle cable, because these things are really finicky if you don't. Take this relay off too, because it's in the way of my hand. Okay, now. That's a bit better. All right, line's out of there. Now let's go under the dash and fight for those 212 mils. I don't know exactly what type of extensions we need because I haven't been down there yet. So we're gonna grab this guy, and this guy. I do know that they are 12 millimeters, so I will just get my medium length because why not? Flashlight, I'm gonna try and wear you guys on my head like I am now and see if we can fit in there and see what we're looking at, but I don't know. We also need some needle nose pliers, some long reach to grab the cotter pin holding the pin for the clevis on the pedal or whatever. So yeah, let's try and, you know, finagle ourselves in here. Probably should take the bucket seat out, honestly, but we're gonna scoot it back. Freaking super, I think that's as far back as it goes. Yeah, Sparko in a S2000, tight fit. Okay. Oh, I see the clevis right there, so. Can you guys see that right up here? This guy right above my finger. So, I don't even know. We technically need the pliers. Yeah, that'll be easier. All right. There we go. That's good. Oh, okay, so you can see the 212s. You got the one right there, straight accessible, and then probably just need an uber long extension, so I might grab another one just to fish it out easier. So yeah, let's see what happens. I know this probably looks like I'm upside down. It's kind of because I am on camera. So I don't know what to tell you guys. I apologize. I just didn't feel like filming today with like my whole camera set up, so I figured this would be kind of like an easier way to do it. I like doing the GoPro stuff anyway. It's kind of fun. Oh, okay. All right, there we go. Get off my stinking thing. Probably could have used one more extension just for the heck of it. Mind you, these are wobble joint extensions. Just giving myself a lot of extra room to work with here. Got the other nut. So now we can go into the engine bay. We should be able to just wiggle this guy out. Doo-doo-doo. Not that you really need the light out here, but you know, we got it. I set you guys down right there.
and come to Papa. Oh. There we go. All right, yeah, oh yeah, so you can see it right in here, just oozing. I don't want to press that because I did that one time and squirted brake fluid in my eyes, so I'm not playing that game again. Oh, well, I'm just gonna dump it. All right, well, yeah, this looks like it's the original unit to the vehicle anyway. It is a Nissan unit, so it is OEM, but yeah, I'd imagine original to the vehicle. So now, you know, old and busted, and here's the new hotness with a vacuum sealed bag. There we go. All right, so we're looking pretty decent though. Not bad. So it's got different castings here. That might just be manufacturing, but it says S1, Nissan, 5/8, 5/8. All right, so yeah, you know, installs reversal of removal. So we're gonna feed this thing back in, tighten these nuts down, and get this thing. Now these things, you don't really need to master or to bench bleed these. If it's a master for the brakes where there's multiple inlets, you do. These things, you don't. So let's feed it. Probably should have got a new gasket for this thing while I was in there, but I didn't even think of that. So one thing at a time. Oh, okay. Maybe really hard to see because I think you guys are probably in the dash, but I was able to get it pretty well just holding it like that. So now we will use the ratchet. All right, so torque on these is like 10 foot-pounds, I think, so just snug them. All right, that's good enough. Now we gotta put the pin in with the thing. So you'll notice on the clevis, it's got the side that holds the pin in like this. So you want to feed it like that, and you want the clevis or the pin to go in on the left side. So make sure you go under there and orientate this in the right way. Again, you guys being strapped in my head probably can't see that very well, so I'll just skip to the next part. Ended up having to pull it out and flip it around because my little piece was spun the back way. So it's all good now. We're gonna go ahead and get this hard line in. So take the grommet off that they supplied with it. And I'm just gonna put this back in here so this thing doesn't pee all over the place. And see if we can feed this thing in. Now, obviously feed these in by hand and start them by hand every time because you don't want to cross thread it. So it should start kind of, or you know, pretty easy. So if it doesn't, just give it a little bit of a wiggle. You know, mine came out a little on the tighter side, so we'll just check it. So mine feels okay. So mine's okay. It's just a little tight. There we go. Now we gotta go on by hand again. Mine came out the same way. It was like a little bit by hand, a little bit by wrench, a little bit by hand, a little bit by wrench. So I think torque spec technically on these is 11. I don't really know how to, I don't really have the adapter to torque that. So we're just gonna snug it good and tight. Get in here. Now I always just go through and I gravity bleed the clutches on these things. It works really well. And it's quick, especially in between oil changes while you're draining the fluid. So we gotta get this thing up in the air really quick so we can go down there. Grab some .3. Now I believe the master or the slave down there is an 8mm. It's either an 8 or a 7, I always forget. So I grabbed an 8. Hopefully we're, you know, right on the first try. Sorry if I sound winded. I am winded, I'm not gonna lie. So move this rag a little bit up higher so we don't, you know, drizzle everything. Now I'm just gonna go down there, hook up this guy, because this works really well. You don't need this, but you can just put a hose on it into a bottle. This just works really well. And crack that bleeder loose. And just let it or gravity bleed. So we got our slave right here. Throwing our wrenches around. Okay, it's an 8, so we're good. All right, so we got flow. So, oh God, hate doing this without my lift. Normally when I'm flushing it, I'll go through and I'll just flush a reservoir's worth through. Since this time we're bleeding it, I'm gonna probably do, you know, like 3 reservoirs full. So it'll take a minute because I just barely got it cracked open, but we're just gonna sit here, drain it, and just keep topping it off as we need to until, you know, we got a pedal that works. So so I finally got it going. I was having some trouble getting some flow. So if you don't have a pneumatic bleeder like this, you might need a partner, because basically the proper way to bleed a clutch, it's not like a brake system. You don't have to keep pumping it. It's just kind of like a one open close pull up, one open close pull up. I wasn't getting any pressure by myself, just with the gravity bleed at first, so I just hooked up the air, just did a quick trigger pull, pulled some fluid through after pushing the pedal in a few times, and now we got good flow. So I'm about to finish topping it off here, go down, and then we'll close up the line and see how the clutch feels. All right, we're good to do the valve cover now. I'm gonna just go ahead and grab a magnetic tray, just because I don't feel like, you know, losing my bolts. So we can just set that there. Thankfully this is all just 10 mils, so coil packs come off, sensor comes off, sensor comes off. This one is very prone to breaking, because the heat, all these are really, that's why I have my coil pack cover off here, because this all gets heat soaked really bad. You know, just S2000 thing. So I still have it. I just keep it off unless I'm going to a show or something. But yeah, knock this off really quick. Got that exhaust oil cap that, you know, apparently is tighter. There we go. Than it needs to be. But cool. Yeah, sweet. Oh, got lucky. Almost lost that guy. All right, should be good. Now, give me that rag. Tape the dipstick. Good time to check and top off my oil while I'm at it, because, you know, AP1 things. Alrighty, bonita. There we go. Make sure, you know, everything's looking okay, which it does. I'm gonna grab a rag and wipe up the oil really quick just so we don't get it out elsewhere. But yeah, I really need to come in here and do the valve lash again. These cars are so hypersensitive to doing the valve lash. It's literally like every 10 to 15,000 miles realistically you should be doing on this if you drive the car like often, and if you drive it hard, yeah, definitely. I mean, right now my stuff sounds a little on the loose side. I think mine in specific has a tendency to loosen up a bit on the exhaust side for some reason, or intake side, and tighten the exhaust a little bit. I don't know, whatever. Like I said, I gotta go get stuff for an oil change, and I only use OEM filters, and dealership's closed on Sunday, so yeah, we'll do an oil change in the next one. So, towel. Got the valve cover in, spark plug. Tube seals were fighting me a little bit more than I would have liked to, but should be good. If not, we'll find out pretty quickly. So go ahead and plug all these dudes in. Connector on. All right. Last piece of the puzzle, at least for the valve cover, our oil cap. All right. Whatever. Just inhaled that, a piece went right in my throat. Okay, so I think this is how the bracket goes. I got the fuse box pulled off over there. May as well just put the orb fittings on now. So, got the fittings on, got the bracket put together. It is, you know, machined out for the set screws here because they're like socket screws or whatever. But I messed that part up in the start. So, just got these AN-6s to hose barb. So we're gonna wait, figure out which one goes where, because we gotta orientate this stuff. So make sure everything's tight, of course. Oh, okay, so it uses all the bolts right here. So the relay that we took out earlier for the clutch reservoir line thing install, yeah, we utilize that guy too. Definitely a bit of a tight fit down here. Really feel like I should probably unhook this harness so that way it's hanging on its own guy here. camera probably ain't picking that up very well, but take my word for it. When you're in here doing this yourself, you might see it. And we'll just break this zip tie down here, because that's kind of in the way. Give us a little bit more slack on the harness, because I think the harness, ideally, if you guys can see, this is supposed to fold in front of. Make it a little bit more spacious. There we go. That's a little bit better. So for this relay though, this relay does have to go on the back side because it does need to ground to the chassis. Right. Okay, well, I mean, it's in there, but I don't know if they intend for the fuse box to be floating around like that, so I don't know, figure that out, but whatever. Okay, so we got it all buttoned up. So I was making the mistake that the fuse panel here, you only use the one clip, so you just scoot it over, everything buttons up. Honestly, it does not look fun to drain this thing in between oil changes, but it is what it is. We got the hose ran, so the lower straight piece, the straight connection, that's going to go to your intake manifold, whereas the top with the 90-degree fitting, that's going to go to your valve cover. This one, you know, hook up like normal, and don't cut yourself like I did. But yeah, I mean, that pretty much wraps up the catch can, the radium catch can. I'm definitely interested to see if this helps me, because I mean, you guys have heard me complain how much this thing eats oil, and everybody says, you know, AP1 things, quart per thousand is normal, it's healthy, blah blah blah, but I just want to know for sure. So I'm gonna wrap this video up though. If you did enjoy, be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Hopefully you stick around, hit that subscribe button, and yeah, do what you love. Forget about the rest. Say bye, Jeff.
Are you like a YouTuber or something, bro?